take us to the county fair.
I did want to say that Melinda's story is very timely because my son and his family were evacuated from Scotts Valley. So I've been sort of living this. Their house is fine and the evacuation orders are on. And my story is about a summer, not a fall like Melinda's. It was 1963. My twin sister and I were 13 years old, and we and our father had just moved to Pleasanton. It was a sleepy little cowboy town at the time. And our mother had died a few years before, so it was just the three of us. We didn't know anybody in the town. And it was lonely, and summer was just dragging on. Now, my sister and I tend to be different people. She looked like she was 10, we're fraternal twins, Carol, and I looked like I was 16. So we tended to have different friends. But that summer, the county fair came to town. The Alameda County Fair came to Pleasanton, and it was 3 blocks from our house. Well, somehow we convinced our father to buy a 2-week pass. The fair lasted 2 weeks, so that meant we could go every day, as many times as we wanted. He said, well, okay, girls, but stay together, stay on the main thoroughfares, and don't talk to the carnies. They're dangerous. Okay, Daddy. Well, we go down to the fair, and we walk through the entrance, which is down on Rose Avenue in those days. And just inside the entrance was an Indian teepee. And the announcer says, step right up and see the genuine Indian princess in her teepee with her tommyhawks and her scalps. I'm going, ooh, that sounds really good. I want to see that. She maybe this is the same princess that was on Roy Rogers. So my sister doesn't care. She wants a hot dog. So I'll meet you over by the pony ride. And we separate. Well, the Indian princess, the act starts about an older man is sitting and he's playing a drum. And out comes the princess out of the teepee. And she has long, dark braids. She has a buckskin dress on. And she starts dancing to the drum. And I'm mesmerized because, well, 1, she's Indian, and 2, she's a princess. Now, I know that this would be culturally incorrect today, but remember, this was 1963. So we probably wouldn't say it this way. So I'm still watching after the show is over, and the princess comes over to me. And she says, hi, my name's Cherokee. You live here? So, yeah. And we start talking. And she's 16. She's looking for friends. And she finally says, do you want to go for a snow cone? Yeah, sure. Do I? And Cherokee and I became good friends. So almost every day of that 2 weeks of the fair, I saw Cherokee. Now, probably at the fair, there are all kinds of sights and sounds. There's the calliope, organs, and the screams from the people on the tilt-a-whirl and clowns walking around with balloons and big show buildings and the smell of the 4-H building and rows and rows and rows of games and attractions and the pervasive smell of popcorn. And there is also horse races. All over Pleasanton, you can hear the horse races being announced. And so one day I want to go over to see the horses. And I'm wandering around and I meet a jockey. Now this jockey is really shorter than me. So I couldn't tell that he was 20 years old. And he takes me to meet his friends and introduce me to his horse, his big brown horse, whose name is the Family Jewels. And I decide, because I'm 13, that he was my boyfriend for those 2 weeks. And he was a perfect gentleman. So one day, Cherokee and I are hanging out. She says, "You want to go meet real gypsies?" Yeah, do I? So she introduced me to this family called their Mr. and Mrs. Boswell and their son. And they didn't look like gypsies. They just had jeans and sweatshirts on. They didn't look like my storybooks, but they were really nice. And they had one of those baseball games where you throw the baseball and knock over the bottle and you win an animal. And Bono was their son. He's around 14. He has a big crush on Cherokee. And he says, "I'll show you how to throw the ball just right so you can get them knocked down and you can win the extra big teddy bear." And Mrs. Boswell, she said, "You kids run along and have some fun. Here's some food tickets." Have a good time. They were wonderful. That was the best summer of my childhood. Soon the fair ended and I had to say goodbye to my carny friends. I never saw them again, but I have always remembered the friends I made that summer at the county fair in 1963. Very good, very good.
Great job. Great job.
Wow, I could smell the popcorn. Couldn't we smell the popcorn?
I
Oh,
hope so.
boy. Yeah,
And smell the 4-H building.
yeah. That's always my thing at the fair, is the city girl that I am. Thank you so much for bringing us there, Claire.